Immigration. If reelected, Donald Trump has said he's willing to build migrant detention camps and deploy the U.S. military to deport the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. It would be the largest deportation operation in American history. Do you support that plan?
11 million. That's an outdated. That was the number 10 years ago. We're talking upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 million.
Well,
There's been almost 10 million people that have entered this country unlawfully in the last 3 years.
To the question, would you support it?
The number varies big time. I mean, it's another 9 to 10 million people just in the last 3 years. The answer to your question is yes. We cannot absorb 25, 30 million people who entered this country illegally. They're here illegally. What country on earth would tolerate that? We don't even know who most of these people are. They talk about vetting them with what? They're coming from nations that don't even have document systems in many cases. Yes, we are going to have to do something. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do something dramatic to remove people from this country that are here illegally, especially people we know nothing about. But 10 million, 11 million, that was the number 15 years ago. Today, it's upwards of probably 25 to 30 million, maybe more.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one. It's Hillary Clinton.
No Democrat has refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election results?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her and that Trump was illegitimate. Kamala Harris agreed.
We have Democrats now. Senator, she conceded the election. She said that Trump was illegitimate. She said that the election had been stolen. Kamala Harris agreed. By the way, there are Democrats serving in Congress today who in 2004 voted not to certify the Ohio electors because they said those machines had been tampered with. And you have Democrats now saying they won't certify 2024 because Trump is an insurrectionist and ineligible to hold office. So you need to ask them. I think have you ever asked the Democrat this question on your show? I bet you've never asked the Democrat that question. Are Donald Trump's claims undermining Americans' confidence in democracy, given that he has not conceded the last election, and he just said in recent days twice that he won Minnesota, Senator?
I think what undermines people's confidence in the election is when you have places like Wisconsin with over 500 illegal drop box locations, when you have places like Georgia where liberal groups are paying people $10 per vote. No, but listen, what undermines elections is when NBC News and every major news outlet in America in 2020 censored the Biden laptop story, which turned out to be true, not Russian misinformation, unprecedented. Only you couldn't even talk about it on social media. They would deplatform you. People look at all this. They look at what happened in Arizona, 200,000 ballots that had the signatures didn't match. People will lose confidence, and it opens the door to this.
I have to jump in here. Senator, you voted to certify the election, and
because at that stage in the process, you have no options.
Senator, you voted to certify the election. Nothing has been censored on this program.
Okay, I've heard enough of that crap. I think this is one of the best auditions for Trump's VP pick that I've seen in a long time. I think Rubio really stood his ground there. And the reason I'm sharing this video today is because I want you to see, and I'm hoping to God that you will share this, tap that thumbs up. We need to get the reach as big as possible. Takes you a nanosecond. I want you to see the blueprint of the radical woke mind mafia's tactics and their strategy. They've got nothing to go on. They have no substantive policies. They have no evidentiary proof that their initiatives, their policies, what they set forth for the American public in the next 4 years, how is any of that going to help us as opposed to helping foreign entities, proxy wars, and God knows what else? The corruptness within. Their only tactic is to gaslight. Their only strategy is to point out, in their own very skewed manner and way, is to try to get the other side to admit certain things because they have zero respect for the American public. They have zero respect for our intellect, our intelligence, and their base just believes whatever they say. Condescension. The pseudo self-righteousness of Kristen Welk. I mean, you are, and now you've got Vegetable in Chief and Kami Kamala, they're all over online, and Ghetto Crockett, they're all over online now, just spreading these real minuscule clips completely out of context, trying to see what they're going to do. They're going to take over democracy. You see, they don't even believe in elections. You see, they don't. How dare you? After what came out, which I did a video on, the Georgia State Election Board finding that 500,000 votes were unaccounted for in Georgia during the 2020 election. And by the way, Biden won that state by only 70,000 votes. When that truth, that is a fact, that is substantive, when that actually came out, you have the audacity to dare gaslight us, the American public, and Marco Rubio's constituents, the people that Marco Rubio represents. You have the audacity to gaslight. Are you going to accept? You have the gall, the balls to ask such an asinine question now after all these facts and after all this evidence has come out that there has been unequivocal fraud done in 2020 during the election? You have the actual gumption to ask, are you going to certify the election no matter what? Are you going to actually accept the results? When actually Rubio is 100% right. Hillary Clinton, not just Hillary Clinton, you had mobs of probably the same people on these campus protesters all over universities in America right now. You have mobs of people parading the streets saying, not my president, he's illegitimate, the election was stolen. Now you're going to turn around and say, look at these guys. They're going to deny. When all these facts have come out, we have all this evidence that even the Dominion voting machines were compromised. We have all this evidence, as Rubio pointed out, of these drop boxes showing up out of nowhere. These mail-in drop boxes showing up out of nowhere. The Georgia Election State Board finding unequivocally, there's no contesting this evidence. It is actual hardcore proof evidence that there was election fraud in 2020. Now you're going to gaslight us? Because that's their only tactic. This is all they have. That's all they got. And then even further, to even go on top of that egregiousness, you're going to say, Trump wants to open up detention camps? Do you support this? Trump is going to deport 10 million illegals? These were all the illegals that Biden's defunctory, terrible, compromised border policy, which he still says to this day he can't do anything about, which he literally, all he needs to do is issue an executive order, close the border, case solved. The death of Laken Riley, caused by an illegal cartel member. Crime up, smash and grab up. Crimes across American cities, metropolitan areas, Los Angeles, Chicago, D.C., Virginia, Texas. Crimes all that have been actually committed by organized illegal migrant, illegal alien cartels, cells, organized South American criminals that illegally cross the border, that are killing Americans, raping Americans, robbing Americans. And now you have the audacity on live television to lie to your constituents and to paint this portrait that we're the bad guys, to paint this image, this detestable, fraudulent, dishonest image that we're the bad guys for deporting these criminals and actually securing the border and actually saving the American public from more rape, from more crime, from more murder, from more robbery and thuggery. We're the bad guys? As a nation, you have to pay attention to this. This is so important. We got to get our country back. This election is less than 6 months away. It's going to get here like that. This is the kind of stuff that you're not going to see in mainstream media. What I'm talking about, how I'm pointing out. Again, this goes back to Aristotle's principles of rhetoric 2,000 years ago. Audience, purpose, message. They're using these extremely unethical, extremely dishonest, corrupt, weaselly, rotten to the core sewage tactics. You can't even scrape the bottom of the sewer to come up with these tactics. How dare you, Kristen Welk? How dare you, NBC? Corporate, state, mainstream media painting this image that Rubio and Trump are the bad guys for actually cleaning up the mess, the disaster, the train wreck that Biden, Tombstone, Vegetable and Chief Biden, Commie Kamala, that's what they initiated. This is what they have done. This is what they have caused. And then the hypocrisy of actually asking, well, no. Hillary Clinton was at the inauguration. She conceded. No, she didn't. She claimed over and over again, interview after interview, live broadcast after live broadcast. The corporate state media blasted her all over the television, which in part had a lot to do to spurn these riots and protests that happened in 2017 when Trump became president, of claiming that it was all a lie, claiming that he was illegitimate, not my president. You just kind of conveniently forgot the not my president movement, Kristen Welk, NBC, corporate state media, Clinton, woke mind mafia. You just conveniently detached that from your memory, didn't you? Guys, I swear to you, we need to get our country back. If these utter treasonous, anti-American, if this woke mind mafia gets into power again for the next 4 years, it's going to literally destroy our republic. There is no doubt about that. They have only one motive and they only have one agenda. That is power and the retention of power. And they think you and I are stupid. You're not going to see this kind of reporting anywhere else. Mainstream media is not going to cover this. You have to understand, given the fact that not only I have taught, but I have studied, I'm a communications expert, I'm a rhetoric, principles of rhetoric of Aristotle expert, I can see through this. Our sovereignty is critical thinking, critical discernment. They think we're idiots. We're not. Gaslighting on national television, the hypocrisy, the audacity, the lies, the unethical display of trying to manipulate the narrative, trying to manipulate the truth so you guys can get votes. You shameless swine, how dare you? We're not stupid. So I beg you, please tap that thumbs up. Share this with everybody you know. The reason that's so important, I don't care about likes. It's not vanity metrics I care about. This is a way of telling the algorithm that we need to push this video. We need to spread awareness. People actually take Kristen Welk seriously. I know it's hard to believe, but people actually watch Meet the Press. People actually watch NBC, CNN, all this woke mind mafia media that is trying to convince Americans that they're the good guys and that it's bad to enforce the border. It's bad to actually prevent puberty blockers under the age of consent. That it's actually bad to actually put criminals away. That it's actually bad to have an economy where everybody flourishes. They want us to think that that's bad, and they're painting this narrative just so they can retain power. Also, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of not only everything that Rubio, I really truly think Rubio is a great candidate for VP. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think of that exchange on the broadcast on NBC with Kristen Welk? And also, what do you think of my analysis? I'm happy to be wrong. I have no problem being wrong because it's all about America first. It's all about getting our country back. In America, the best idea wins. It's not a competition. I'm right, you're wrong. The best idea wins. That's a meritocracy. So I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far, subscribe to our free newsletter. It's free. It's in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. This is your sure-proof, fail-safe way of never missing out on another video, a live stream, top story, current events that mainstream media won't cover. It's free. Subscribe right now. All we need is your best email and you're in. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. As always, follow and subscribe. May God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.